this conversation comes up often with people. It's I was looking at ordering a Porsche GT3. I might slim shot might have a shot at getting on the list for the GT3 RS. I was looking at McLarens and you know I'm just looking at everything right now. I got a car. I got a Camaro Z01 1LE that I had K-Tech do some mods to. It's around 800 horsepower, and that's for the track. That was a great car, and it was a track killer at the ring. Um, One hell of a bargain for what you get on that car for the track, not the drag strip. So I like cars. I like things that go fast. I like big engines. I want V8s. I want V10s. I like V12s. Um, but I get in the conversation. I got friends that got electric cars, and it's like, what do you think about the Model S? What do you think about the Plaid? The Plaid, the Plaid. You see the Plaid? The Plaid. It's under 2 seconds. The Plaid. You see the Plaid smoking everything on YouTube, and um, uh, I'm like, yeah, I have, but I still don't want one. So, and then it's like people are so caught up on numbers, and we've always been that way. We are a 0 to 60 society. We just care about numbers, and I care about numbers. I just talked about how fast my Camaro was around the ring. It's if I'm gonna race at the track, then obviously numbers matter. But in the general sense of things, when it comes to cars, I'm the same way with watches, right? I have my automatic watches because I like mechanical stuff, and I think I got two iWatches. I like both, and I'm not a huge fan of electric cars, but I looked at Teslas before to use in a city at my city apartment, and a new Hummer EV. I like that, so I'm taking a look at that one. But we're so caught up in how fast a Tesla is. I'm like, they've always been fast. I remember when I was a teenager, my father worked in a steel factory, and there was two cranes. They had an AC crane and a DC crane. Now, everybody ever saw those big coils of steel on trucks that they use for stampings and automotive parts and whatnot. I forgot how many tons those things are. But the AC crane picked it up pretty quick. But then they had this DC crane, and it was like bzzz, it would pick up this, who knows, I don't how much does a coil's weight, 10 tons, 20 tons, 40 tons, I have no idea. It just picked this coil up, and like bzzz, it was like crazy fast, and you realize like how powerful electricity can be, especially in the DC form. So when I started seeing Teslas come out, like, this is not surprising. When I watched how fast an electric motor can pick up a gigantic steel coil, throw it on 4-wheel drive, and yeah, these numbers aren't surprising. The thing is, I just don't like the look of the car. I don't like the interior of the car, and I still like mechanical things. I still like the sound of that Porsche 6. I still like the sound of a naturally aspirated or supercharged V8, twin turbo V8. Tell me you don't like the sound of the Lexus LFA V10. You're smoking rocks if you didn't like the sound of that thing. Obviously, V12 all day long. There's other aspects to cars that I appreciate, but I think car culture as a whole appreciates as well. And it's one of those things that, I've been messing around with cars and, messing around on the streets, in Mexico, right? For all my life. And there's always somebody faster. Who hasn't ran into that Civic that looks, the sleeper Civic that was just a monster, right? Like running tens like crazy. But at the end of the day, even if I could buy that Civic for half the price of run tens, I don't want it. I would still rather have, the Porsche GT3, for example, or a Porsche Turbo, or a whole other lot of cars I would just rather have. Like, my favorite coupe of all time is that Maserati coupe, which they discontinued. But I like stylistically on the outside, it's like the best looking coupe ever. So there's things that I care about. Like, I have to look at the car and like it. I have to sit inside the car and like it. I want that experience of the engine and the sound and the transmission. Um, there's just things that I appreciate. Now, there's nothing against this Model S. If you like it, buy it. You'll smoke everybody on the road. Like, I don't doubt that. It's just I don't go into something always looking at, how fast is it. Hey, there's always somebody faster, but there's just aspects of things that I care about, and that's all of it. It's a whole experience. So a lot of times this conversation comes up about how fast. It smokes everything. Smoke. They're going to. It's just one of those things they're just going to. These things they'll get faster. This isn't as fast as it's gonna get, but I don't care. It's just one of those things that I don't care about. There's if you're a car person, why do people buy classic cars with the big cam V8s, and there's so many different aspects to this. Independent throttle bodies on some cars. Some people want a big supercharger for the whine. Other people want turbos. You want to hear those things spool up, blow off valves, and why do we buy these exotic cars and then straight pipe them? And then I was looking at a McLaren that was at the dealer down here, and I was hoping it had a little bit of factory warranty left, right? But no, they straight piped the car, and then they voided the warranty on it. So it would have had a warranty, but they straight piped it. Why do we straight pipe a McLaren? Because it sounds ridiculous, right? There's just these different aspects of car ownership, and it's not all about 0 to 60. So I don't doubt the power of these things. Um, I've never looked at a Tesla and thought that was sexy, or that's cool, or that's hard, or that's sporty. It's not for me. I think the Hummer EV is probably the first one. I think Ford might have a truck coming out. I mean, the Cybertruck looks cool, but I just still like regular ass trucks. So it's just one of those things that if you like it, you like it. But I just don't care if Tesla can come out with something that is 0 to 60 in a half a second. I just don't care because it's not what I want. There's aspects. It's like I don't stop buying mechanical watches because I have two iWatches. There's other mechanical watches I'm looking at. I like IWCs. Never owned a Rolex, but I like that James Cameron Deep Sea Dweller. I mean, I might pick that one up. I just like mechanical things. I don't like, I come from the technology world. Where I got my career started was in tech. I tend to be a sometimes first adopter, tech forward type of person, but not for everything. I don't think everything that's tech is always better. I still like reading books in the paper form. I think reading on an e-reader sucks. But there's so many other parts of technology that I love. But if I was, COVID, I'm not in the city. But if I was back in the city, I'd probably look at a Model 3 to keep in the city. Um, the gas stations in the city sucks dealing with gas stations in the city because they're always packed. There's never enough of them, and you're in those big metro downtowns. You don't ever drive far. I don't need 500 miles of range. So when COVID's back and I'm back in the city, I might just get a Model 3 and be able to plug the damn thing in. Or by then, it's like Porsche has one now. Everyone's got one. So I don't think I'm completely anti-electric car. It's just purpose-based. When it comes to my sports car, though, when I want to go drive around and I just want that experience, it's just one of those things that to me there's more the pops and crackles of downshifts. That's the sound of the engine, all the mechanics. It's just an experience. But the exterior is a non-starter, and I think that's just what happens. So, but yeah, I will continue to have conversations with people about this because I know a lot of car people, or people know I'm a car person, and it's like, well, this is the fastest thing out there. Model S, Model S. How much does this thing even cost, by the way? So my point, I'm not into this. It reminds me of that Wall-E movie. I think Benz is doing this too, where it's like, let's just slap. Oh, you know what? The Ford did that too on the Mach, whatever. Let's just slap a tablet in the middle. Somebody somewhere just put a tablet right here. It might have been Benz. There's no design. I like the inside of some sports cars, or there's some thought put into things. Let's just slap a tablet right here. This looks like I'm driving or flying an airplane. Um, this just doesn't do it for me, but if it does it for you, cool. I'm just not a fan of that. But it's like, what does this thing cost? I can't imagine. it is on the cheap side of things. So 124. But then, like, how much are we looking at for upgrades? Wheels. $5,000 for wheels. I don't know. Good wheels cost money though. Don't care. I don't want a full drive. I want to drive the damn car. I mean, 2 to 6 weeks, they're doing pretty good right now. I don't know. 135,000. I just feel like there's some other cars out there that are going to be more fun for me, anyways. But that's me. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Is the Model S just the best thing out there right now of all cars, gas or I don't know, man. I just feel like for 125, I don't know. Can you get like an Audi? Could you get an Audi RS7 for like 135, 150? I'm guessing. I've not looked in a while, but if you threw me I don't know if you've ever driven in one, but those things are a blast. Um, same price, maybe a little bit bigger. I'm not sure. Let's just say same size, I guess, for fun. Teslas always seem really small to me, but for the same price, if I could have an all-wheel drive, 500 and something horsepower, twin turbo V8 Audi RS7 versus this. Now, granted, I know there's other reasons you might want this. You know, you want an electric car, you don't want to, carbon. There's many other reasons why you'd want this car other than just performance. But even though I know the Audi's slower, I think for same price, I'd rather just have an Audi RS7. Maybe I don't know, what can you get a Porsche Panamera for anymore? You might be able to get a GTS for 135. A GTS 4, 135, 150, maybe off the top of my head. You probably can't get a turbo for that price. But I think these are just cars that I'm looking at that I think, 4 doors that would be enjoyable for the same price, that I feel have better exterior design, better interior design. Sure, not as fast, but to me, an overall better experience. It's 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. How many roads can you even do that on? For example, it's diminishing returns at some point where cars used to be really fun, even when they got into the 5s and 4s, 0 to 60, and now, even my Camaro with the mods went down to like 3.2. It's not a lot of fun on public roads anymore. I got to go to the track. So it's just one of those things that when you're not going, red light to red light for a second and a half, what's the rest of the experience like? And I don't like dull and boring. I want my car to be a little bumpy. I want to hear the engine. I want to feel the shifts. These are just the things I appreciate. So obviously, this is a badass car. It's just not for me. So feel free to call me crazy, but let's just say it's 125. If you're going to spend 125 to 150, what would you buy right now? Would you get this? Would you get a RS7? Would you look at a Panamera? One of the AMG cars? I mean, you could probably get what? I got a BMW. What do I got? 2021 X5 M50i. I always forget the name of it. I mean, that's 523 horsepower. That's a blast. A little numb at times, but that's a blast. So I gotta imagine you could get, I don't know, the M8 for a similar price, and that thing's got to cook, right? I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of fun cars out there in that 125 to 150 range. So what would you buy? Drop a comment below. Let me know.